Thank you all for coming. I really do appreciate it. It seems like a very long time ago. 40 years. Is 40 years a long time? Not anymore. It is not a long time anymore. The year was 1977, and I was doing a couple things. I was driving trucks. I hauled freight for a trucking company, and I was a lay minister, lay pastor at some small churches down around Rushville, Illinois. And there were 10 churches, and we had 5 pastors. We were the last of the circuit riders. Sometimes I'd have an early service on the northern side of Schuyler County, and I'd have to make a second service by 10 o'clock or so on the southern part of Schuyler County. And sometimes I broke the law. And I shouldn't have, and I know that's not right, but I needed to get to church. And some of the churches didn't have any music, and so I wanted to learn to play. And so I actually went to a little church called Ebenezer, the church that Melinda and I attended at the time. It's out on the Camden Road. It's just a little one-room church. And I'd go in there at night, and they had this beautiful old upright grand piano in there, one that's set halfway up the wall. And I would try to teach myself chords so that I could play hymns. And I remember the first time that I sat down in a church to try to play. It was at Brooklyn, Illinois, not in Brooklyn, New York, but Brooklyn. It wasn't the Tabernacle Choir. It was in front of a little church in Brooklyn. And the wonderful thing about it, the service was that the piano faced the wall. So it had a mirror. It had a mirror on it, so that the piano player could look up and see the people. But I was so glad that piano faced the wall that day, and I'll never forget it. I taught myself a triad, a chord, and I learned to play kind of like, Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. That's exactly how I played it. And those people were so gracious to me that I didn't stop playing. One guy asked me, he says, do you think that was exactly right? And I told him, I said, well, that's my arrangement of it. What's the matter? Don't you like contemporary music? What's your problem? But I persisted because I wanted to. And as that little thing at the beginning, the little Star Wars thing at the beginning said, I never did learn how to read the music. It was like, when I look at music, it's like somebody dipped a chicken in ink and it had a seizure on a page. I just can't read it. But I really just started hearing these songs, and I remember this. It's weird that I can remember something that happened 40 years ago, but I don't remember what happened like a couple hours ago. I was driving in a truck, and I think I was on my way to Peoria, either going to or coming back from Peoria. And I remember pulling off the side of the road, and on the back of probably what was a bill of lading to some company, I wrote all the way up to Calvary, Jesus walked in my place. Every step of that mountain was a step of love and grace. And as my Savior, he died on that cruel and rugged tree. Oh yes, but it should have been me. It was my sin that brought him there and nailed him to that tree. It was my pain that he would bear. His stripes were meant for me. Was my guilt, my shameful blindness that brought him to that place. But it was love, tender loving kindness that brought the fullness of His grace. It was judgment and punishment that brought him agony. I was condemned to die, bound up in chains, till Jesus set me free. Crucified in shame, hanging there on the cross between two thieves, He showed me just how much He cared that day that Jesus died for me. And all the way up to Calvary, He walked there in my place. Every step up that mountain steep was a step of love and grace. As my Savior, He died on that cruel, rugged tree. Oh, yes, but it should have been me. From His heaven, from His holy throne, He came to bear my help. Of such love and grace and mercy shown, no tongue could ever tell. Someday I'll stand before Him, and I'll see Him face to face. I will worship and adore Him for the day He took my place. And all the way up to Calvary, He walked there in my place. Every step up that mountain steep was a step of love and grace. As my Savior, He died on that cruel and rugged tree. Oh, yes, but it should have been me. Oh, yes, but it should. You know, it should have been me.